Americans, this is Paul Harvey. Stand by for news. Now, you already know that LifeLock is the #1 identity theft protection in our world. But just when you thought the best couldn't get any better, it got better. How about the industry's leading service, LifeLock, now searching criminal websites for the buying and selling of your private information? It alerts you when a change of address is requested in your name. Now, nobody can stop all identity theft, but LifeLock comes close. And what LifeLock doesn't stop, they will fix at their expense up to $1 million. Don't settle for less than the very best when it comes to protecting you and those you love. Start with a phone call to 1-800-440-4926 today. Mention promo code Harvey and you'll get 30 days free. Now, telephone 1-800-440-4926 or go to lifelock.com. One more time. The 800 number is 440-4926 or go to lifelock.com. My goodness, another collision, and this one between two nuclear submarines. A British and a French sub collided in the Atlantic. Nobody hurt, but both submarines are carrying nuclear weapons. Both are damaged. They say there was no radioactive release. Everybody seemed to have been waiting for that big stimulus package. It was urgent. The president wanted it on his desk by this past weekend. Well, he has it. Now he's waiting. Now he's waiting to sign it tomorrow. An American Airlines flight from John Wayne Airport headed for O'Hare, Chicago, diverted to Los Angeles after an engine failed. Flight 1236 had just taken off when an engine died. The 747 was able to fly for another 10 minutes and land safely, and all 149 on board are all right. A big storm is dumping heavy snow on the mountains of Southern California. High winds near 50 miles an hour. Heavy rains in spots. Watch out for tornadoes, already hurricane velocity, and then some. Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez has won by a 54 to 46% margin. Voters have removed limits on his re-election. Chavez says the referendum is a mandate to continue his socialist agenda for decades to come. Well, maybe. But oil exports, which supply most of the feed for his cash cow, oil exports are down dramatically in Venezuela. Still no answer to what caused that fireball over Texas skies. Strategic Air Command says there was no link between that and the collision of those satellites 500 miles up last week. But the FAA has warned pilots to be on the lookout for space debris. The Army wants immigrants. I said the Army wants immigrants. For the first time since Vietnam, the Army is accepting immigrants with temporary visas. Until now, they had to have a green card, something that showed permanent residency, but those with temporary visas will be offered a fast track to citizenship if they enroll now. And the Pentagon needs interpreters, needs medical care workers, people like that. Now, in the spotlight, it's a record breaker in Alaska for the Iron Dog snowmobile race. Todd Minnick and Nick Olstead crossed the finish line in 37 hours, 19 minutes. That's right, full 4 minutes, faster than anyone else ever traveled 1,700 miles of that course. They rode Polaris snowmobiles. The Iditarod is just weeks away. Page 2.
Individual results may vary. Program not available in all states. See contract for complete terms.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head dealing with monthly payments, there's powerful information you need to know about the government's bailout of credit card companies. If you have more than $10,000 in credit card debt, the time is right to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. With monthly payments you can afford, credit card companies have been given billions and need to clean their books once and for all. And that's great news for you. We're Credit Answers, and we'd like to offer you free information that will show you how to settle your credit card debt with payment plans customized for you. It's yours free by calling 1-800-400-5168. Don't declare bankruptcy. Give us 10 minutes and learn how we have saved our clients millions. Live better, debt-free. For free information on how to settle your credit card debt in a government bailout era, call 1-800-400-5168. That's 1-800-400-5168. 1-800-400-5168.
Republicans everywhere else are hoping the Republicans on Capitol Hill got it right. The latter all but unilaterally opposed the big stimulus package. That's risky business. First, the con in economy stands for confidence. There's nothing about partisan diametrical opposition that inspires confidence. But there's something else. If Republicans are betting that nothing makes it all better in 2 years, that voters then will reward with resistance now. And that's a bet against our nation's resiliency, and that's always been a bad bet. What if, for example, we were right now on the brink of fusion energy? Directors of California's National Ignition Facility say that we are. Fusion energy. They've been working on it for more than a decade. They hope within a year they will be generating 100 million degrees Celsius, pressures billions of times higher than anywhere on planet Earth, from an energy source the size of a pinhead. That's right. Virtually limitless energy, rendering practically everything else obsolete, to say nothing of its liberating effect on our economies. What if tomorrow we've suddenly applied our right now breakthroughs in quantum science to American industry? A team of physicists at the University of Maryland has already defied so-called space-time, can make tiny things jump 3 feet instantly. Meanwhile, Harvard physicist Federico Capasso says that we already know how to levitate something without magnets or mirrors using, are you braced for this? Using quantum forces right now. That would have all kinds of industrial applications, at least frictionless machinery with no friction at all. Can you imagine what that would mean to a hungry economy? So a bet against the United States is very risky business. In fact, every pessimist in history has been buried in an unmarked grave. Our revered institutions and our corporations and our monuments bear the names of believers. After our Saturday noon edition of Paul Harvey News aired this weekend, our email box at paulharvey.com overloaded with requests for copies of that program, an encore presentation. So just go to paulharvey.com and click on to the Listen Now button right at the top of the page and listen now. paulharvey.com, page 3.
Salagadoola, mitchigaboola, bibbidi-bop.
You must be your fairy godmother. Yes.
It doesn't take a fairy godmother to tell you that the right fit means everything.
Good. heavens, child. You can't go in that.
Children under 4'9" need to be in a booster seat because they aren't ready for adult safety belts alone. Many parents miss the important step of booster seats.
Maybe you better explain things to him.
Booster seats raise your child up so that a safety belt designed for adults will fit and protect them properly.
Oh, that does make a difference.
Remember that 4'9" is the magic number, and get your little pumpkin there safely in a booster seat.
Hop in, my dear. Oh, thank you.
And like Cinderella, you can live happily ever after.
It's like a dream. A wonderful dream come true.
For more information, visit boosterseat.gov. This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Y'all hear about the convicted drunk driver on Long Island? Court ordered to have his car equipped with a special ignition system. It would not let him start the car unless he was sober. But he is hospitalized after crashing his car because while drunk, he was driving a rental. Criminal gangs have swelled to 1 million members, adding 200,000 in 3 years. The Justice Department says gangs are now the main distributors of illegal drugs. They are responsible for up to 80% of all crimes in some places. Meantime, states may be forced to release inmates early because they can't afford to house them. $1 million marijuana bust in Dallas, right outside the exclusive W Hotel at Victory Park. 3 people are under arrest after transporting high-grade pot known as hydro-marijuana. Super potent. It sells for $6,000 a pound compared to the regular price of $300. Police found it in a storage compartment in a Winnebago. And this is a new one for police. The key to those compartments was hidden in a tea bag. Hundreds of thousands of dairy cattle are heading to slaughter. Milk prices are just too low. So low, farmers can't afford to feed the cattle. The worldwide recession translates to our dairy exports being down that much. Ice fishermen on Lake Winnebago in Wisconsin usually drive their cars and trucks right out there to the middle of the lake. But this time strong winds opened the ice, and a father and a 9-year-old daughter were killed when their pickup hit a crack and immediately sank. A Spokane, Washington man used his estranged wife's email to keep people thinking she was alive after he had killed her with a hammer. That he hacked into his wife's MySpace page, and acting as his wife, Becky, he told her friends that they would not see her for a while. She needed some me time, she said. She wanted to be alone. Page 4.
Experience it and win with Tempur-Pedic. If you've been waiting for the absolute best time to try a life-changing Tempur-Pedic Swedish sleep system, this is it. Visit a participating retail store today and get your game piece for a chance to win $10,000 just for trying a Tempur-Pedic mattress. Simply call, click, or visit a participating retailer near you today to find out how. Call 1-800-433-2720 or visit TempurPedic.com/experience. That's 1-800-433-2720 or TempurPedic.com/experience. For official rules, go to www.experienceitandwin.com. Contest ends 3/8/09. Offer void where prohibited.
My friends laughed at me when I said I could order in French, but when the waiter came, I just smiled and said, Je voudrais le poulet et le riz.
Discover the world's fastest way to learn a language, guaranteed. It's the amazing Rosetta Stone software, and you can try it free. Request a free demo CD-ROM by calling 1-800-336-1989. There's no tedious translation, useless memorization, or boring drills. Call 1-800-336-1989. 1-800-336-1989.
Now, for what it's worth, Dodgeville, Wisconsin's Ron Dentinger says yes. He says, yes, Abner Doubleday did indeed invent baseball. But, says Dentinger, Sir Walter Raleigh made the game what it is today. He discovered tobacco. I might correct Dentinger to this extent. Dr. John Ziegler made the game what it is today. He developed anabolic steroids. Paul Harvey. Good day.